so it shows all the 15 different cameras that we have only in the packaging pool. We have everyone weigh out the grams to 1.02, so we have cameras watching the scales to make sure that A, they're doing that, B, they're not going to pocket anything or pocket something that falls on the ground. And then also we weigh it a little bit extra so that no one ever is shorted. So that when the product goes to the actual customer, they're not going to say, hey, this is less than a gram, you guys are robbing me. It's like, no, we actually know that we put a little over a gram in every single one.
A little bit about Ocana and our kitchen. Everything we make here is more artisan based, handmade, handcrafted, our own recipes. We don't melt gummies on a flat top and just and use somebody else's product. Everything we do here, we make here. So we make it here, we package it by hand. Everything we do is small batch ordering and more attention to detail. So when the product comes in from the state licensed transportation companies, it comes through these double doors right here. It usually comes into totes like this. They'll come into plastic bags, any form of plastic bag that they put them in, and they come into these totes like this. And then from here, they would go into one of the freezers. Once we're done freezing the product, we'll bring it and we'll put the socks that those bales that you've seen in the extraction room. There's socks that fit perfectly into there. We'll open this up and we'll do all our packing inside these tents. So no extra, pollen or any type, it's very particles, a lot of particles in the air. So we do them in these rooms, so basically we try to keep the facility clean as possible.
All right, this is our -40 walk-in cryo. So this is kept at -40 degrees Fahrenheit and -40 degrees Celsius. We use it to keep all of the product that we have coming into the building to keep it fresh, and that's like to keep the product from degrading as much as possible. To make sure that everyone is safe, like no one's allowed in here for more than a minute at a time, just because like any sort of, all the surfaces in there are very cold to touch. You can get frostbite super easily. It's a very cold environment. You need to make sure that you're fully wearing insulated clothing, your lab coats, gloves, just to make sure that no one actually gets hurt or any sort of frostbite inside the freezer. We use it just to store our material between runs, and while we're done, like once we've packed up our material, it'll come in here, it'll store and wait until we're ready to blast it with our extraction machines.
This is where the hydrocarbon extraction room is. While we walk in here, nothing will be turned on because it's highly flammable if there's a leak or anything. So just letting you guys know that we can't operate the system with having phones in there, no phones in there, no camera system. Everything in there is bomb-proof. All the electrical is hardwired in. It's a way to protect. Just volatile equipment can, if not done properly, can explode. This is a protection chamber that wouldn't allow it to explode out. It would more explode up and out. If that's like worst case, it's a containment room. So I'll take you guys in here. John is one of the co-founders with us. He's an aeronautical engineer, graduated out of U of M. Really technical guy. Luckily you guys get to meet this guy. It's good. This room's pretty expensive. John, go ahead. Tell them about our equipment and the process.
So in here we're doing BHO or butane hash oil. So we're taking hydrocarbons and we're using the hydrocarbon, N-butane, isobutane, and propane extraction to then remove our desired cannabinoids and terpenes from the material. So from our -40 cryo, we take 3 bags of material and load it up into this machine here. This is the MEP30 from Extraction Tech Solutions out in Colorado. They've been in the industry for a long time. They're one of the leaders, very safe, everything is well designed and everything like that. We take our material and we load it in here, bring everything down to temperature so we keep it all nice and cold, soak it over with our hydrocarbon for our desired time length, anywhere between You could do a short wash of 5 minutes to a super long wash of like 30 minutes. After that, you take that cold, cannabinoid-rich gas and you pass it over to this final column here, which this final column is your hot side. It'll then take that gas and evaporate it and boil it off so that you're just left with your desired wax and your desired terpene profile in this bottom container, which you then pour out into a Pyrex dish and we move to the oven. So state law requires us to wear face masks with food and safety so that there's no hair, spit, anything falling into any of the products. But here at Oak Canna, we like to wear full respirators for the health and safety of our employees.
But from that machine, we process, what comes out of it is oils like, these are the oils, so we're making batters and crumbles right here. And in this process is, when we use hydrocarbon extraction, it's gases. It's all types of gases we're using, propane, butane, and we need that gas to cook off. Because you're either gonna consume this by smoking it, or you're gonna by ingesting it. So we don't want any residue gases left over. So we bring it to this, and this is how we keep track of everything. We scan it, but we really are just to look for it by eye so we can identify it faster for our employees. We do it this way, but everything is scanned, metric, compliant by the state, and that's how we track exactly how many grams we're taking out, how many grams off-gassed. And this process here takes about 72 hours. It's a 3-day process, sometimes more. We take it out. They all cook at different temperatures. It depends on what we're trying to make. Over here is 82, and there's negative pressure in here that's taking out the gas slowly but surely, and so not so fast where it dries it out. And we use different cooking methods for different time frames, which will then give you a different flavor, different texture, different look. So there's so many different ways. It's like the head extractor is like a master chef sometimes. And this is the process we do. It goes from that process into here, and then from into here, we'll take you outside and show you where it goes next. This is a climate controlled safe. Security and climate controlled in this safe. So now we're in the holding room. Once we're done off-gassing in the oven room, we take the product, we bring it in here, and we wait for the testing company to come pick up their samples. So they come pick up their samples of each kind, and this is required by Metric and the MRA for them to come. We believe that one of the things that we don't like is they take way more than they need. They need a couple of grams. They take, I believe it's like 7 to 15 grams in that range. And when you're pumping as much as we are, it gets very expensive to do all these repetitive tests over the same product that's ran by the same batch. So when we bring it in here, so all this stuff is finished pending testing results. We keep basically all the numbers, the metric numbers and everything. They're sitting here in these sealed Pyrex. It says what our tare weight is, so we know exactly how many grams in here once it's done. And we're basically waiting for testing results. As soon as we do a lot of testing over here, so we're like a preferred client. We usually get them back in 3 to 5 days. As soon as they get back and they pass, they come here. So this is passed, ready for packaging. So now at this point, these are all our clients' product. These are all third party. None of it is Oak Canna's cultivated product, but we work with, as a resource for these guys and help them with everything. So here's when it's passed and ready to go. From here, it goes into the center pit. The center pit is where all the packaging is done. So I'll show you guys from there where we go. But this is all the stuff that is passed. This is all the stuff that is already sold. Every one of these is going to a different store. Basically, our biggest issue is we don't have enough product. I can't produce enough product daily. It's literally by the end of the day, this will all be gone. By tomorrow, this will all be gone by the end of the day today. We literally can't keep it in. So that's our biggest issue here. Take you guys outside. From the safe room where it said passed, ready for packaging, then we bring it out to the pit. The pit is our packaging pit. It's where we do all the packaging for all the products that we make in-house. And over here, the standards are, we try to have the highest standards no matter what we're doing at Ocana. We make sure they have their hairnets, their face masks, whether there's corona or not. I was asked not to wear a face mask so you guys could understand me. But whether there's corona or not, we wear a face mask, we wear gloves, we wear hairnets, and we got protection covers over here so you get accurate measuring, no particles, no dust, nothing coming in from anywhere else. We try our best to set the highest standards for all the packaging and how we move forward from every point.
So this is our short path distillation room. This is where we take any of our waxes and oils that we don't want to send out as a finished smokable product, and we actually will convert them through short path distillation and winterization into pen cartridges or distillation or distillate, which is just pure THC for our edibles. So you'll take your finished, your crude product, you'll actually melt it down in ethanol. You'll winterize it through a freezing process and a filtration process to remove any sort of fats and lipids and any sort of unwanted contaminants from that crude oil. Then you'll go through a boiling process called short path distillation, which will then take and boil off the cannabinoids at a certain range. And then depending on whatever range you're looking for, that's how you get your purified THC, CBD, CBNs, and all the beneficial cannabinoids out of that crude product. That crude product that distillate product is then taken from its final form and then re-added into pen cartridges, edibles, topicals. We're going to be working on some water-soluble things, some nano-infused things, and all those products will be coming out of this room. Here for our safety features, we're using ethanol, isopropyl alcohol, so we have gloves, face masks. There will be like heat guns. Any sort of ethanol processing actually is happening underneath a fume hood with a full fire suppression system installed to keep all of our operators safe.
Hey, so my name is Jalen. I'm the infused edible specialist here at Cannabis, and right now I'm cooking up a fresh batch of gummies. We're about to go ahead and get ready to deposit this in the depositor. So right now I'm cooking up a cherry lemonade flavor. We're just testing out a batch. Just doing some test flavors, just trying to find the right, the right flavor, so we can figure out what's the exact ratio, so we can get the proper edible to the customer. So right now I'm letting it get to the temperature that it's supposed to be, and then once it gets to the temperature, I'm going to add this syrup right here, and I'm going to add these two little flavor mixes, which I'm going to show you right now. So let's turn this off. So I'm cooking it now, let it homogenize a little bit. Once it homogenizes, we'll put it in the depositor, deposit it into the molds. Once we put it into the molds, we let them sit for about 12 to 24 hours, and then we demold them, and then we'll put them in the sand and sugar. So the active ingredient we put in last is that we actually get that from John back in there. So we use pure distillate. So it's a pure process. Everything we do is from scratch. So what you saw right here was just me putting the gummy recipe together from scratch, but then at the end process is when we actually add the distillate. and that's where all the magic comes together.
We have some of our gummies here behind us. This is our strawberry, watermelon, cherry flavor. So right now we've got all these dispensed into our silicone molds. These will cure, and we will roll them in our sour sugar mixture. Here's what these look like. So we've got this awesome dispenser machine over there that dispenses exactly the amount of gummy mixture into the mold, so we know the grams per milligram of THC. So when we dose, we know exactly each of these gummies weighs 4.8 grams, so you know you can calculate that from your distillate, and we know that all these gummies are going to be right on for testing. So this is the gummy machine. It dispenses exactly the amount of gummy mixture we want. So you line up these nozzles with your mold, pull the lever down, and it fills these little cavities with exactly the amount you need.
We've got clients in 29 states and 12 countries, so I've seen the
So this is meant to lock so that a child cannot open it. They wouldn't know to flip these down to open the package, so it locks without trying to pull it. So if you see from here, if I try to pull it open, it locks. They can't get to it. But when you put these down and push it out,